They called themselves the Funk Brothers.
Yes, indeed. I like that. I like that right there, DJ DeVoe. That's right.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like that?
I didn't like
that right there.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like Booker T?
He's just okay.
That's a Booker T, the man. Come
No,
on,
man.
baby.
He's just okay, man.
We love Red Grooves. That's
We
what
love
it's
Red
all
Grooves, but he's
about,
just
man.
okay right now.
That's what it's
Dang.
all about, man. Our listening audience
Reggie's
all
starting up
over
all
the
sour.
globe. Welcome to another edition of We Love Red Grooves. I like that right there. This is where they say the legends hang here on We Love Rare Grooves. I want to welcome our listening audience all over the globe. I'm your host, C. Mose. As we say every Monday night, we bring you the magic of the music and the music of the magic here on We Love Rare Grooves. Coming to you live from the studios of Burbank, California here on the UBN network. That's Universal Broadcast Network Go. Right now we're streaming live on ubngo.com, channel 1, and also on Facebook Live. Join us as we have another great star. We have legends. This is where the legends hang. And I say every Monday night I can't do the show without my great cast and crew, and I want to start off with the world famous DJ DeVoe. What you say, my good man?
Oh, brother, I'm excited. Check 1, check 2.
Microphone check.
Hey.
I didn't talk to you this week.
One
man.
of those? Yeah, right. Usually we rap.
Right. This is
Check,
a week
check.
went by.
Should I go to this one? Yeah. Oh. Check. Okay, there we go.
Microphone check. 1 2 1 2.
1 2. One of those.
Look at that.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to
Another legend.
another legend we got in the house.
Great.
Northern Soul in the building, huh?
Northern Soul. We can already tell them what Northern Soul is all about. We
And
got
this
Northern Soul.
and this one's real personal.
real personal.
Real
right
personal.
here. This is how
This is close to the bed. Look, we've been trying to get her for a long time.
man, this
Making long distance calls to Michigan.
Right. You know, trying to find
When's she
out.
coming?
You know.
She's definitely
She
around.
here.
And she's
Definitely
this
a rare
Murder
groove.
She Wrote.
She's a rare group.
That's right. Real rare groove. And then we got the world famous DJ Reg. What you got, man?
What's going on, folks? Happy Monday.
Murder She Wrote.
She's a rare group.
That's right. Real rare groove. And then we got the world famous DJ Reg. What you got, man?
What's going on, folks? Happy Monday.
Murder She Wrote.
She's a rare group.
Hello.
Hey, this is what happens when you live.
Yeah,
live
and in color. Yeah,
right.
I heard myself twice
every week, giving you a great show live. No edits. Nothing at all.
Keep it. Yeah, we out there, man.
What's up, DJ Reg? Everything good, man?
Everything's great, man. Just been doing a whole lot of traveling locally. Whole lot of traveling from last week was Vegas, this week Palm Springs.
Hey, man,
all over the place.
I appreciate everything you do, man. You and DeVoe appreciate it very much. And go ahead, you can tell them we got who coming on next when we come back after summer vacation.
Oh, we got the one and only Walter.
We got the Whispers.
The Whispers, man.
Okay.
We might have both of them.
Okay.
We're going to see.
Is that right? We're going to have both mustaches in here?
Yeah, one with hair, one without.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, we're going to have men.
Way to do the groovy scene, traveling all over the world.
Man,
and now that I think about it, that brother could be a whisper.
Hey, Scotty. What's that mean?
He does have a stash, don't he?
Well, and welcome our consultant, Robert.
Robert, the author.
I am so excited. Tonight, we've been, if I have to beg and plead for your appearance, I don't mind because you mean that much to me.
Exactly.
That kind of artist, that's what we got tonight.
You stole that one, huh? You
There
stole
you
that
go.
line,
Yeah,
right?
of course it is. Everything's stolen. And we love her offspring, but like every situation, it had to start somewhere, and we know who it is, and she hit a night. Not now, but right now.
I'm just are we going to do 60 seconds? Because I just want to.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to do that.
I just want to know what Murder said.
Oh, my God.
Just slap him. You can slap him, okay?
And then we can't do the show without our lovely and talented and beautiful co-host, Miss Xiantoni Irene.
Hey.
Mama.
Hey, girl.
Mama.
You got to give me some voiceover
Mama.
from what's happening. Hey.
Hey.
What you got, girl? You learned that from your mama when you get me a number.
Learned everything from her mom.
Right. Your mama show her how to get a number for me.
There you go.
No, we do not have the numbers for you. That's why we can't tell you nothing.
Nathan, huh?
Everything going all right with you, dear?
Yeah, no, but he talking about he want the numbers. You got them for him? You went to church on Sunday. What you got for him?
We will be discussing this shortly as we get into the groove, as only we do here on We Love Rare Grooves. Before we get into our sponsors, one thing, are you still on the record label? They having a party coming up.
Angel City Records, I'm sure they probably are.
You gonna be there? Or do I gotta call somebody?
I
Big
don't
Red
know.
Gotta call
what
somebody
party are you
over
trying
there?
to go to?
No, I'm saying they're doing a release, Angel City Records, with some artists.
Oh, are they? I don't.
I seen it. Do I need to go over there? That's all I'm checking.
Oh,
with.
no.
I don't need to go.
No,
I don't need to hang nobody out.
Okay. No, you don't need to hang nobody out the window like Nino.
All right.
No.
That's what we
All right. All right. Since we that now, let's get into our sponsors. We want to thank our sponsors, Beverly Boys Production.
Beverly Boys.
For all your video production needs, they just finalized our Donald Byrd concert. Got to highlight the concert. It's a beautiful thing. And also, we got Ask God Accounting.
Oh, yeah.
Where we still get you 1 month.
Still getting 1 month?
Just a month?
1 month, 30 days.
Why you need more than a month?
After,
I
if
always
you don't know
need
how
more.
your finances are after 30 days.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Got to pay. And then we got Drobe Stogies for the good life, man. They got a great video out now. We're going to show that tonight as we do here on We Love Rare Grooves. But let's get to the party. Let's get with the legend herself. You know what? Everybody's from Detroit.
I'm glad that you finally realized that.
Everybody's a Detroit native.
The operative word is from Detroit.
From
Okay.
Detroit.
Yeah.
That's right, because they ain't where they at. They from Detroit. This young lady here was on some record labels that we're going to show tonight, all the way from Golden World, Velgo, what else we had? Encore, REM, and then moved on to the legendary Motown label. Her true success was being one of the original members of the female recording artist group that was called Hot. And I believe they had a gold record. And they were on Casablanca record label. Had several songs that charted, on the top 100. She made several appearances in major motion pictures that we're going to show tonight throughout the years. Her music has also become legendary, as you hear in the background, what we call Northern Soul, and is still playing live today in the music scene scene in the UK. So without a doubt, we get ready to celebrate the music of our own co-host, her mother herself, that's been waiting to come here and share all these lovely stories and great music and conversation. The one and only Miss Lovely Gwen Owens, and a fabulous singer and songstress, and we're gonna show that tonight. Thank you, my dear, for hanging out in the Groove Studios. You came to Gwen. Hey, you've been traveling with us. We done been about 3 different studios, right? Remember the first one we were at?
I remember the first.
Yeah.
Remember that? Mm-hmm. Now, early in the background, before we get into where it all started from, we were listening to that group,
Booker T and the MGs.
Yes, and it just brought back memories. That's what this show does, reminisce. So it brought back a memory. Before we go into the story, give us that little Booker T memory.
Oh, God. Somebody get me a lawyer in case I get sued.
All right, we got you. We got you. I'm like Trump. We got a lawyer.
No,
I'll pay your lawyer.
We were going to Memphis out of Detroit. It was a whole busload of us. And when we went down to Memphis, you remember my cousin Shirley, you met her.
Yes.
She was sitting down next to Booker T. Mm-hmm. And we were all on stage. It was 2 stages. Mm-hmm. And when we got there, nobody wanted to help pull the organ off of the bus. The musicians we had were Rudy Robinson and the Hungry Five. Mm-hmm. And Rudy played the organ. Nobody wanted to pull the organ off the bus because you had the organ and the Leslie speaker. Oh, it was just a big to-do about it. Halfway through the event, we had already done our thing, and I was backstage in the dressing room. This little young singer got up there, and he started screaming, "This is a man's world." And this lady jumped up and said, "That's a GD lie." And she threw something at him, and he jumped off the stage. And it was like a freak. Oh, yeah.
Mayhem.
Guns start going off. And I'm on the floor in the dressing room laying on top of our clothes because people were running through
And
the
you
dressing
wanted to
room,
hold on to
snatching clothes
Really?
off. Yeah. So I just laid on. Now, when we got outside, and the funniest part, we had a white bus driver. Mm-hmm. And when we crossed over the Mason-Dixon line, he said, "Don't call me until 2 o'clock. When it's time to get, I'll be there, but don't call me." We wound up having to call him. He had to come before the gig was over. Mm-hmm. I tell you, the organ and the Leslie beat me on the bus. I don't know who put it on there.
But they got Booker T's organ on that bus.
Oh, no. This was Rudy Robinson and Hungry. Booker T never got a chance to go on.
Oh, Booker T
He was closing the act. He never got a chance to go on. He was sitting out there flirting with my cousin. So place being shut
on the road.
Yeah.
Them green onions.
Yeah.
Them green onions.
Green onions.
Man.
But that was the first memory. You could play anything and a memory will come back.
Absolutely.
Some of them I can't talk about without a lawyer. But yeah, but that's my memory of Booker T. He didn't get to go on. He was sitting right down front too.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, and this is what it's about, reminiscing the music. We're going to take our audience on a musical journey tonight with Miss Gwen Owens. As you can see, she's already started to share the stories with us. But as we do every Monday night, we asked our guest, did you come out the womb singing?
You know, it's hard to remember. My mother sang and she danced.
Okay, there you go.
But and my father says that he sang, but my mother says he didn't. But no, I didn't. I'm trying to think. I first started singing in elementary school. I do remember that. Mm-hmm. And I remember I had a powerful voice, just like my daughter has a powerful voice when she was young. You know, a lot of little kids have those little tiny voices. And so I remember auditioning for, you had to be 10 to get in the little choir there. Mm-hmm. And I remember singing at this little half voice. And I didn't think the teacher would choose me. Mm-hmm. But see, teachers are smart. They can hear past you faking it, you know? Mm-hmm. And so she hired me she brought me into the choir at 10 years old. And that way I could sing full out because there was a lot of us, you know? And that's where it kind of started. So I would say 10 was when I started singing. But I knew harmony at 4. my mother taught me how to sing and harmonize.
All right, so go back a little further. You mentioned your mom danced. Where did she dance? Did she dance professionally?
No, but she broke her foot too, tap dancing.
Okay.
She wanted to be a tap dancer.
Okay.
And but she's the one who taught me to sing. When I would come home from nursery school, we would be singing these nursery songs, and she would tell me, now you sing your part and don't listen to what I'm singing. I'm gonna sing something else. But she's the one who taught me how to harmonize at 4 years old. Okay. And my grandmother's the one who got me piano lessons at 4 years old, because nobody wants to take a 4-year-old. They figure nowadays it's different. 4-year-olds can tell you how to run a computer, but back then they thought that you weren't advanced until you were 6. And so at 4 years old, nobody wanted to take me. And my grandmother found this lady teacher who said she would take me. She took me until I was 6, and then I went to Northwestern School of Music and Dance. But she did take me at 4 years old and start me out on the piano. Yeah.
So did you do anything in the church?
I didn't start playing in church until I gotta say 26 years ago.
Oh, really?
Singing in the church.
Singing in the church when you?
Singing in the church as a child. Yeah,
you
I
did?
sang. I sang in the choir, and at the Methodist church. Then.
Did you ever go to Aretha Franklin's dad's church?
I never went to his church, but I knew who he was. Everybody knew who he was.
Everybody knew.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So,
yes.
Did you get involved in any groups in high school, junior high school? Did y'all form any trios? Because trios were big then.
Well,
right?
yeah, but in junior high school is when I first got into the recording part of it.
Oh, really?
It was like an ensemble in school. And one of the teachers heard us. We were fooling around in the rehearsal hall. And he heard us singing this song. I think it was one of those Be My Baby songs or something. I can't remember. And he took us over to Correct Tone Records. And when we went in, we sang. And the guy liked us, but he says too many of you. It was 12 of us. Yeah, and it was an ensemble. He said break that down to a little group, And so we never went any further with it because, we're in junior high school. We wasn't thinking in terms of, breaking it down a group and going on. But later on, when I graduated from junior high and went to high school, Henry Smith came to one of our high school programs, and he saw me and he came up to me and asked me, "What are you doing after school?" Well, naturally, you don't want to say I'm doing homework. Didn't want to do no homework, And I said nothing. And he said, "Why don't you come over to the recording studio?" And then I went over to recording studio. That's when I first met Anthony Hawkins and their group, The Impacts, and we started to record. So that was when we recorded Mystery of Love. That was the first record.
So did it sound something like this, DJ DeVoe? So you had, Anthony Hawkins, you met him in high school, and he had another band. And
he had a band. He lived on the west side, way on the west side. And I lived in...
Is this it right here?
And that was a pretty good copy, too.
When the last time you heard this? Now, is that you on the lead?
Yes. I was a solo artist.
Right.
See, I had a little bitty voice, a little kid's voice.
It sounds like the Ronettes.
Yeah.
I had this little voice. She never had no little tiny voice like that.
So Henry Smith was the writer on this song, and he was the first one to produce that.
Yeah, he came and Henry Smith was the type of person that gave little programs in the neighborhood, and all the kids would go and audition for little parts, and we would act out these little parts, and then we would come up, we would sing these. So he was kind of an entrepreneur at that. And we used to love to go to this place called Cephas Center, and because he would have all these little plays, and so it was Henry that started the whole thing.
So who were some of your early influences?
Oh, wow. I guess I was kind of strange because I really liked most of the male artists. And I think the reason why I liked most of the male artists is because if you say you like a lot of female artists, people start to compare you to those female artists.
That's a great point.
And they'll start saying, yeah, she got that from so-and-so. So I'd say the only female at that time was Tina Turner. She was wild. And I just love that wild, I kind of had that. But I was really more of Otis Redding, kind of person. People that, not those those singers, those crooners that stand there and do nothing. I like the ones that was all over the place.
Fat.
Yeah.
You like the Ike type of
I like, well.
Lay hands on you. Lay hands on you.
You want to come, Gwen? Come on, Gwen.
No, I just like Tina because she was powerful at that time.
So what early Tina songs did you like?
And I should know, and I can't even remember. I know I used to do a lot of her stuff. I remember, what's that, Proud Mary?
Mm-hmm.
I remember that one. And I think I was more into her as a whole, her act.
Got it.
She got up there with the little short skirts on, and she just felt like when she was singing, like she didn't care who was there. This is
We noticed some of your early photos. You were emulating that.
Probably.
With the high heel boots and stuff. I did my research. The fishnet stockings. Mm-hmm.
Somebody's always gonna find. I remember with Aretha Franklin, there was a singer at Motown. God, I can't think of her name. It started with a B, but when she started singing, the first thing everybody said.
You talking about Betty Davis?
No. But she said she sounds just like Aretha. Every time she opened her mouth, she sounded like Aretha. She did have a little bit of Aretha, but you don't come up around singers that you love and be at home singing without kind of picking up some of their flavor.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, and I just happened James Brown he was my absolute favorite. And I used to do his act, his songs in my act. And with long gown and high heel shoes on, jumping over cables and stuff.
Really?
Oh, I just thought he was fabulous. And so
wow. So did they drop the cape on you too?
Oh my God!
I was thinking too.
No.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing.
But I was good at it.
I
was good because I remember once doing his little thing.
Look at her
and I
get
had on high heels and I went down. And legs went up in the air, and boom, I was up before the next beat. Now, nobody would have known that I fell because the audience thought it was part of
the show,
act.
right?
But my sister and my cousin, who were doing a little go-go behind me, they couldn't wait to start laughing before we got to the dressing room. So everybody,
they knew you fell, right?
Oh, everybody. Because they turned around, they would dance, they turned around, they looked, and I was on the floor.
Now, who have you opened up for? Some of the, during that time you were talking about Ike. Did you do anything with Ike and Tina Turner?
No. I used to go and watch them. I used to sneak in the club because I wasn't old enough to really get in the clubs. When I was working the clubs, you could be there. They keep you underage in the dressing room.
Underage,
but you could be there.
Adolescents.
I was in the curtain watching Tina my fondest memory of opened for Edwin Starr. I opened for Edwin, and he was like a really good friend because Anthony used to work for him. They were the soul
murder.
Something.
He's murder on the show.
Yeah, at that time
he's murder on the show.
He's murder on the show.
Is that murder?
Yeah, that's murder.
Yeah.
That's about
hey.
murder.
They played behind Edwin, and so I knew Edwin personally first as a friend. And I opened for him at a club in Detroit called Mr. Kelly's. And Edwin had a couple of hits by then. So Edwin.
And who played who played the drums for you?
Oh, I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because,
See, Edwin, she's ahead of me because she knows.
because there's a gap that we need to fill in.
Right.
Please fill in that gap.
Yeah.
Edwin Starr had two hits out by then. I think he had Double O Soul and I think 25 Miles, I think, was out at that time.
Yeah.
And so now he was another James Brown on stage. That's the way. Oh, yeah. But see, after he had his hits, he didn't want to work that hard off of the beginning. You want to build up to that, your last part. Well, I opened for him.
Okay.
And I just told you I was another Tina Turner. I hit the stage smoking.
Oh my God!
And, I did, and I had my little
it.
dancers with me, my sister and my cousin, and we were smoking. And so I looked in the audience and I saw Stevie Wonder. So when you see an artist, you announce that.
Could he see that?
I'm gonna slap you.
Could he
No,
what?
because his eyes went. I mean, he could see.
Yeah,
it.
no, he could not see then.
No,
oh
he
my
could not.
He
God!
can see now.
No.
Oh my God!
Anyway, Stevie, I called him up on stage. I said, well, Stevie, come on up and do a number with us. Well, at Motown, they had contracts.
Hold up, I just want to say one thing. Did you tell him to modulate?
Oh my
That's your daughter did.
I don't mess with Stevie Wonder.
Most people don't, but
Your
there's a
daughter
few.
did.
Yeah.
There's a
That's all
few.
I'm saying. You was there. Matter of
Only
fact,
one.
you was there.
They were too young to know.
Yeah.
They were too
Remember that
young to
event?
know.
And she told him to
Yes.
modulate, and you
Yes.
just put your head down like that. She ain't getting me.
Yeah.
Continue on.
She had it. Anyway, I called him up on stage and I said, Stevie, let's do a tune together. Well, Motown artists had contracts. They were not allowed to sing anywhere at all except for Motown. So he said, I can't sing, but I can play drums. Well, Stevie don't do nothing short. It's going to be he got up there and he started playing drums. So we danced and we doing all these different dances and stuff. Because I told you, I was wild on the stage. I let my sister have a dance solo. My cousin had a dance solo. Everybody, he's still playing. So I stepped back and I just let him play. He must have played drums for about 10 minutes or so. He just kept on. So at the end, when I got off stage and I went back to the audience, was in an uproar now. They just up on their feet. I walked in and Edwin came up to me and he says, you should spend more time singing than dancing. And I said, wait a minute, where is this coming from? But I knew what was going on. He got to hit the stage smoking.
Yeah.
Right.
He can't come out there and build.
Right.
Now he got to come out there, bam, and
Because you,
that's one of the.
Yeah.
you was out there banging.
I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a hit record. He's the one with the big record.
Right.
And that's what you always hear about that opening act. 'Cause
Yeah, you have to be careful.
I know a lot of, I shouldn't say, but several artists that have been taken off the tour.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So LTD was taken off the
Yeah.
tour. The Commodores have been taken off tours.
Right.
So they come up and put so much smoke on them,
Right.
that it takes away from the original or the
The
headliner
artist.
act.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
They
well,
tell me, you got to go.
I
You
don't
gotta
think
go.
I took away from him. I think what I did was he
Man,
was not ready
stepped
to
his
build.
game.
He had to do a whole 45 minutes, hour set.
Right.
And he's coming out, so he wants to build to it. You're going to start with a few, and then you build. By the time you leave the stage, it's smoking. But you can't come on the stage like that if somebody just left the stage and the people up on their feet.
Yeah.
And Stevie is there still playing. You got to come out smoking.
Just digressing from that, we just went at the bowl. We had watched Sheila E. and she put it down, right, Reggie? And I was wondering. I hadn't seen Kool and the Gang in years, and they were here as guests on our show this year. And I was wondering how they was gonna bring it. And they brought it though.
Oh,
They brought it. They came out on stage, but they had to though.
Yeah.
Sheila E. had put it down.
Yeah,
so.
but they've been bringing it for 50 years.
Yeah,
so
and they
it-
professional.
It wasn't no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
That wasn't a problem.
And
It's just I was impressed.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And they had dancers too.
Yes, they did. And you could have, back in the day, you'd have been right with them.
Yeah.
You'd have been right with them. So give us a call here on 323-524-2599. We're streaming live on UBN Go.
And shout out to our
Tell me.
Facebook family. We got
Yes.
Colleen in the building. What's up, Colleen? And
Hey,
we got
Facebook
Shantae.
family.
What's up,
Top
Shantae? And Regina. So we got some good folks checking you out, Gwen, in Facebook land today.
Hello.
That's right. Give us a call. Always a chance to register to win some tickets. And also, we got coming up the Flair event. We also got coming up the Gardena Jazz event, and also Long Beach.
You got a
is
receipt for
coming
that?
up. I got a receipt. I'm getting ready to get some receipts.
Right now we're Gardena, gives me a little.
We're gonna try to see, but
One of us should be working that event. I don't know.
Right.
Let's work on that.
Yeah,
Let's work on that. As we continue here, we got the wonderful, talented, and legendary Miss Gwen Owens of the legendary group Hot. We're going to get into that later on the show, but we're going to share some of the early songs here. Some that was written by Murder, She Wrote.
He wrote or she wrote?
Yeah.
Murder wrote.
Okay.
Murder wrote this next song that we can write. You want to introduce this song that Murder wrote, Anthony Hawkins?
You're going to really put me on the spot.
Yeah, no.
The only song that I know of theirs is Cynthia Roof.
No, he's
Yes.
talking about the one he wrote though.
I don't know the one he
Well,
wrote.
we did our homework.
Well, I'm glad you did because I don't.
Well, that's what
when
we
you
had
know,
right here.
when they became
Mystery Man.
Black Murder,
They were playing rock. They were one of the
well,
earliest
yeah,
ones playing
but
rock.
by then he and I had
Oh yeah, we know. We actually know, but it's been a running joke. You know how long we've been
Yeah,
running.
Yeah,
we
I
got
know.
to keep
No,
running.
but he and I we're really good friends.
Yeah.
We're still good friends.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, we're calling right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, if he's that good, we need to call in right now.
Right.
We can do a little thing.
Well, we're gonna introduce that song. We're gonna go back. We're gonna take them on a musical journey.
Oh,
right
I know
now.
what you want to. You want to hear.
Mystery Man.
Oh, and I hate that song.
Do you?
Oh,
It's
she didn't
not-
mean that, Anthony.
No. It's not the song that
What
I
is it?
hate. It's the way the producers mixed it.
Oh, okay.
They didn't, everybody back then, we had to have a little sweetening
Right.
on
Right.
it so that the voice sound mellow, like you were in the shower.
Right.
That sound. That wasn't mixed.
Well, let's check it out. and
Well,
see
let's
how
cheer it.
sounds.
Check it out.
And
We might have the remastered version.
They love that in Northern Soul.
Right,
Love
just-
that song.
I was so lonely. My friends all say it's a shame. How could you love someone when you only knew his name? But now that he's back, I'm no longer ashamed. 'Cause I I've been untrue to you. Oh, and now I sit all alone, feeling sad and blue. And oh, I can tell that you are so very lonely too. And I'd like to know when you are coming back, because I still think our love is real. And I'm still pretty real. I'm a victim of a hit and run. He scored a hit and now he's gone. He really made a fool of me, and I was so blind I couldn't see him. He took my love away, and it makes me think that love doesn't pay. He's a hit and run. Oh, you know he broke my heart, yeah. I was caught unaware. Now I'm a casualty. Just when I thought I had his love, he hit and ran away from me. He wasn't with me very long, but his memory still lingers on. Since he hit and run. Oh, you know he broke my heart, yeah. Oh, body's aching a wreck of pain. Don't even know my name. Keep saying it's all a dream, but it can't be a dream, 'cause I know he's a hit and run, yeah. A hit and run. Oh, he left the scene of his crime, shattering every dream of mine. Like a villain, he ran away, leaving my heart in a very bad way. I wish I knew what could be done to prevent another hit and run. Another hit and run. Oh, another hit and run, yeah. I said it broke my heart. Oh, it's tearing it apart, yeah.
You hear that in the background? That's Black
Murder.
playing that rock.
And what is the connection? Because they were ahead of the game. They were a black rock group.
Right, early on, like before Hendrix or right in the time of Hendrix.
Yeah.
So Gwen, we have this picture up on online.
Beautiful picture.
That was a beaut. Yes.
Come
That-
on.
That's and
So what year was that?
So murder is not a fictitious. Murder is for real. That's Murder's picture right there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that is your
X.
Former husband.
okay.
Oh, it's not ex. It's former.
I don't like the ex. That's like
right.
crossing somebody
Right, 'cause y'all
out.
still
You
cool.
know, yeah,
Right.
we're still friends. Yeah, good friends.
He had
yeah.
the little tint glasses on. He was kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
24-hour cool.
Yeah.
And isn't the story that during the King's riots, when Martin Luther King was assassinated, that's how you all eloped or something?
That's how
In
we
your
got,
home state?
That's how we got back together. We had been broke up for about a year, and when the riots came in Detroit during that time, we were all on curfew. I don't know where I ran into him at. I can't remember, but we were all out together, the band and all of us. And if you weren't in by 9 o'clock, you had to stay where you were. And so I started staying over there with the band. And then we all just got back together again. One of the band members, the drummer, was married at that time. And one of the singers was married. And so it was like it became a family couple thing over there. And then when the curfew was over, my mother said, you've been over there for a week. And, something, y'all get married, honey. And so my mother and his mother and I don't know if my father's was or not, drove us to Toledo,
Absolutely.
Ohio,
Right
to get
across
married.
the border.
Yeah, y'all get married, honey. Y'all been out there.
Like going to Vegas, huh?
Right.
Had to go to the
Oh,
yeah,
it was
it's
like
closer
Mobile.
than Vegas.
Toledo.
Y'all got it cracking like that, huh?
Yeah.
the drive-in
Shotgun.
marriage.
It's closer than that.
Out
Yeah.
to Toledo.
Yeah.
And so that's how, but that picture was at the reception. That wasn't the actual wedding.
That was
Yeah.
the reception. Yeah, my mother made him cut his afro because he had one of those, and she thought, my mother's old school, so from their old school, and so she thought that was too much hair and that he needed to trim it down. She would have liked it better if it was just been cut really short, but he agreed to cut it that short. So, yeah. That was nice. It was a nice reception. It was nice. He was working with Edwin Starr at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on the road with Edwin, so their band.
If you see my baby, stop her on sight. Okay. SOS. I loved Elvin Starr.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah.
And I
Edwin,
think he was an
really
underrated singer.
Yeah, he was.
Cool. Well,
Really
you
was.
know, Edwin was one of those entertainers to me who his voice was not the kind of voice that you want to lay down and go to sleep to. It wasn't that mellow sound. But what he had was talent. And he could sing and dance and perform. And so he put that energy and excitement in you. I can't picture Edwin doing a ballad. I guess he did. But
Yes,
he
he
was
did.
more of a killer singer. Like that's why I said when he hit the stage smoking. That's him. That was Edwin.
So when we left off, you were in high school, and we were doing "I Lost a Good Thing," which you wrote. And when did you decide that music was what you wanted to do instead of working at the post office or General Motors or something?
Well, I never made a conscious decision. The decision was made for me. People were constantly bringing me in the studio, record. We're going to record this record. We're going to put it out. Next thing I know, I'm on the radio, disc jockey. It was kind of like just on a train and just go with it, I never thought about a day job or anything. I didn't think about working any jobs until I came to California, and there was a lull, because I was new to the area. And it was kind of like a lull, and I would go get what you call little part-time jobs, working an answering service, and then when the gig come, I quit. The kind of job you don't mind quitting because you gotta, So I never really consciously thought about it.
So when you were in Detroit, how did they compensate you? Did you get paid for sessions? And how did that go back then?
You get paid for recording sessions, but when you're recording your own record, you don't get paid for that. When the goes out on the label, the record label, you made your money on gigs because when they finished tallying up what they spent for the record to come out and the promotion and all that, and back then that was also, they were getting your wardrobe for you and people that teach you how to dance and do things like that, all that come out of your pocket. So you may never see a dime from the recording, so you made your money in performing. So the object was to keep working all the time at the clubs, you know.
Now, wasn't our cousin Keith Washington, wasn't he performing as a little kid in the clubs with you?
Keith was about 6 years old the first time he came on stage, and we were in Canada at the time, in Toronto, and he came on stage. And then after that, when we got back, his mother was Shirley's sister, and they got into an argument or something, and so she tried to pull Keith off of a gig in Detroit because he was young. So she went in and told how old all of us were. None of us was supposed to be in there. I was the only one that was allowed to be out of the dressing room over on the side. Everybody else was supposed to be in the dressing room, even though when the police came in, the table, they tasted every drink. It was nothing but Coca-Cola, you know, so nobody was drinking or anything. We were just sitting over in the corner, but we're not supposed to be there. Nobody would have said anything if she hadn't told us. But she was angry at her sister, and she pulled Keith off of the show.
I did tell Keith about that.
Know you
one
your
day.
cousin.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Keith's been singing, like you said, since he was 6.
Keith Washington
yeah.
kissing you, Keith
That's
Washington?
him,
Yeah,
yeah.
Keith
And
Washington.
I was listening to a song with him and Shantae Moore today.
Right. Well, we played it a
yeah.
couple of weeks
Love
ago.
it.
Remember
Yep.
when we were doing
Yeah.
events?
Yep.
So as we continue
Yeah.
here on We Love Rare Grooves, give us a call at 323-524-2599, streaming live on ubngo.com, channel 1. That's right, Universal Broadcast Network, and also Facebook Live. As we continue here with the great and the one and only legendary Northern Soul now, and there's that sound that you had there, and we're going to talk about that as we do more with Miss Gwen, the mother of Xiantoni Owens.
Thank you.
Tonight.
Yes.
Pretty Tony, take me away with Beverly Boy production and the upcoming Flair weekend.
My name's Dave Patterson. I'm a Seattle area videographer. I've been working with Beverly Boy Productions for over 2 years, and I can say they are great to work with. They've always provided me with the information I need so that when I show up on set, I can shoot exactly what's necessary to tell the story the client is trying to tell. Call sheets that include the who, what, why, where, when of the video shoot, production notes, gear requirements, crew requirements, load-in time, all that. Makes my job a lot easier, and ultimately it produces the results that the client's going to be happy with. This is what a professional company like Beverly Boy Productions does, and also it's one of the reasons why I really enjoy working with them. It's a bit of a family vibe. They're very low-key, low pressure, but they're very professional at the same time, and they get the results, and that's ultimately what matters most. I'm proud to be a shooter for Beverly Boy Productions, and if you're looking for a company to produce your next video production, by all means, give them a call. They can handle any sort of scale project, from a single-person interview to a large production with multiple cameras and large crews. You won't be disappointed with the results. Give them a call.
Flair, a 501c3 nonprofit comprised of Ebony Fashion Fair alum, presents a Flair 2019 charitable weekend. Please join them as they kick off the biennial event on Friday, July 26th at 6 p.m. at the Miracle Theater in Inglewood for a welcome reception, screening, and Q&A with fashion icon Audrey Smaltz and fashion designer Kevin Hall, interviewing fashion designer Stephen Burrows and former Ebony Fashion Fair Versailles 73 model Barbara Jackson. On Saturday, July 27th at 6 p.m., the organization hosts their charitable event at California African American Museum in Exposition Park. On Sunday, July 28th, the organization hosts an all-white jazz brunch at the Marina Del Rey Marriott Hotel at 11 a.m. to close out their weekend event. Proceeds benefit mentoring programs and scholarships for fashion and design students. Tickets for all weekend events can be purchased at www.flairinc.org. That's www.flairinc.org, and by contacting 323-687-3358.
Get yourself some peace of mind. You can do it. You can do it. Do it till your heart's delight. Oh, you can do it with your imagination. Or you can do it in real life. Feel the magic of the moment. Let your spirit carry you away. Get in touch with all your feelings. Find out what they have to say. You can do it. You can do it. Do it till your heart's delight. Oh, you can do it with your imagination. Or you can do it in real life. Feeling free as an eagle, flying homeward high in the sky. You touch the fire of love inside you. It's got you searching to find. You can do it. You can do it. Do it till your heart's delight. Oh, you can do it with your imagination. Or you can do it in real life. You can do This just might be the hardest thing I'll ever have to do. As much as I want you, and believe me, I want you, I really do. Oh, maybe I could let you stay if she wasn't my friend. Believe me, it's not easy sending you back to her. We've got the right feeling at the wrong time. Love just doesn't justify the chance we'd be taking. We've got the right feeling at the wrong time. Can't you see the mistake we'd be making? Oh, baby, if you stay a moment longer, I can't trust myself to let you go. If you stay a moment longer or touch me again, I won't be in control. Oh, baby, I'm just trying to do the only right thing. But how can we find happiness through someone else's pain? 'Cause we got the right feeling at the wrong time. Love just doesn't justify the chance we'd be taking. We got the right feeling at the wrong time. Can't you see the mistake we'd be making? Oh, baby, baby, baby. We got the right feeling at the wrong time. Love just doesn't Maybe started thinking someone else could love you more. Don't do nothing foolish like walking out on me. Boy, don't get excited. You better think before you leave. Who's gonna love you, baby, when she puts you down? Who's gonna love you, baby, when I'm nowhere to be found? Who's gonna love you, baby? Tell me, who is it gonna be? Who's gonna love you, baby? Who's gonna love you, baby? Say you got your reasons and you're on your way. That you found another lover, is that all you have to say? I guess it's kind of pointless to keep talking in your ear. You better listen to me, baby. I got something you wanna hear. Yeah. Who's gonna love you, baby, when she puts you down? Who's gonna love you, baby, when I'm nowhere to be found? Who's gonna love you, baby? Tell me, who is it gonna be? Who's gonna love you, love you, love you, love you, love you? I got my moods and I get mad, and I don't think too clear. I know I'm open brood, I make you feel bad, and I head straight toward the door. But if I take a mind to walk out in some old rage fit to be tied, won't you make me stay a while and talk it out? Don't let me leave you behind. Don't let me leave you behind. Hand me your love, I abuse it. I know I take more than I give, but I would be a fool to lose it. I know without it I can't live, but if I take a mind to walk out in some old rage fit to be tied, won't you make me stay a while and talk it out? Don't let me leave you behind, and don't let me leave you behind. You know, as a rule, I'm not a bad girl. Maybe just 2 times a week. But if I'm cruel, don't pay me no mind. It's just this desperate life I lead. So if I take a mind to walk out in some old rage fit to be tied, won't you make me stay a while and talk it out? Don't let me leave you behind. Don't let me leave you behind.
second year anniversary of Joe Solis. We have the red carpeting, so when you pull up, you see the red carpeting, and then as you continue through into the cigar lounge. By the way, we have a beautiful humidor, which is where I'm at. And then as you go into the lounge, the ambiance is beautiful, the artwork, you sit down, you relax, we have TVs, we have music, and then where it's really happening is outdoors in the back, where we do have live entertainment, we have a bar, and we have great food by Nate's Tacos. So hopefully you come out and enjoy it.
Because of the fact that we're a membership-based organization, our members create the fabric of what the culture is here. And we really feel that we have a camaraderie here that revolves around the fellowship, around the Luvv cigar.
Solutions, distinctive accounting for small businesses. Discover how you can have your own dedicated accounting department supporting your business. Ascot Accounting Solutions will help you simplify your process, enabling you to access your data from anywhere to make quick decisions and become efficient at improving your bottom line. And we can help you pay less on your income tax. Call us today at 866-902-1818. Again, that's 866-902-1818. Visit our website, www.ascotaccounting.com. Again, www.ascotaccounting.com, and find out how you could receive a 1-month trial offer. With offices in Los Angeles and Irvine, Ascot Accounting is not limited. We can service your business anywhere in the United States. Give us a call today at 866-902-1818. Ascot Accounting Services, where small businesses succeed.
Back to the Groove Studios here with the wonderful and talented Miss Gwen, legendary mother of Xiantoni Owens, in the house tonight.
Her show.
Thank you.
That's Xiantoni's show.
It's not my show. It's Gwen
Her
Owens' show.
It's a great show. Whoever showed it.
Yeah, Mom's the boss, right?
The We Love Rare Grooves team is putting it together for her.
Man,
we
Detroit's finest up here, okay?
Miss Gwen Owens. So tell us about those hot years. That sound was off the chain.
How did you get to
hot?
How did you get to California first from Detroit?
On the bus?
Oh, no.
Greyhound? The Greyhound?
With a bag of
My
chicken.
cousin Shirley was in a beauty pageant, in a contest.
Shirley, huh?
And so she had to come out here for the finals. And her mother said she's not coming out there by herself. Somebody got to go with her. So Shirley said, Gwen, why don't you come and go with me? So I said, okay. So we came out in the September of 1970. And we had planned on, was it 70? 19, no, I think it was 69 or something. And we had planned on staying, but our cousin Kenny, who already lived here, he said, no, I'm sending them back home. You know, because first of all, we were underage, we were a little wild. And he said, he didn't want that responsibility.
Underage.
Well, you know,
Not on his watch.
in Detroit, when you come up, you kind of think you all that. You think you tough. In other words, somebody say I'm from Detroit. You know, you had no fear.
Tough
And
with
then you
gators
come to
on.
California, they're on a whole nother level. You know, they got a mind thing going on out here. And we were just silly little young things out here. And he did not want that responsibility, so he sent us home. Shirley had to come back for, I don't know what she was called back for, but she was coming back. I don't know if she had a TV show coming up or what, because she was an actress. And I wasn't ready to come back yet because I had a New Year's Eve gig. And a New Year's Eve, I don't know if
That's
you know
big
what
money.
California.
It's big money.
Yeah, that's the big money. I wasn't leaving without that money. So after the gig, I remember tracking down because I was signed to a label again. So I was trying to find the owner of the label because he had collected all the money to get paid. But I didn't tell him I was leaving town for good. But anyway, he finally paid me, and so I came here on January the 22nd, 1971.
Okay.
And that's how I got here. And I was still a solo artist. So when I recorded, You Better Watch Out, which you played. I was still a solo artist at that time. I had met a lot of artists at the time. I had sang with Nancy Sinatra and did backup for a lot of people. And so when
did you do those boots are made for Wanda?
No, but I did sing with her backup on stage with
right,
for
that
that number. Oh yes,
and you had your boots on too.
No,
I seen some
we had
pictures
some
on her
really
tonight.
nice. We had some really nice outfits. There's a picture of Nancy. We had some really nice outfits with her. She's
and
very,
is that's
very.
Miss Nancy Sinatra?
Yes, and very, very cool people. The people that you would think would not be were the coolest. Very, very nice lady. Very nice. She helped me get over a sunburn. You know, I thought I could tan. I'm out there with baby oil on. I got burnt to a crisp. And I walked in her dressing room like this, and she said, "Oh my God, get her something, get her something." And they were bringing all kind of creams and stuff. I didn't know. She was just that nice a person, you know.
Beautiful.
And you did Raquel
people.
Welch and Wolfman
I did,
Jack.
and Margaret. And Margaret's another one that was just exceptionally nice. Just a nice person.
So was this work out of Vegas? Doesn't sound like Vegas.
Yeah, I worked Vegas.
Yeah.
With Ann Margaret, I worked. And Nancy too. Worked Vegas.
Yeah.
I worked Vegas with Jose Feliciano.
That picture's in there somewhere.
Yeah, with Ed McMahon.
Were you singing background for Ed?
With Ed, I did a whole background thing. He had a like a review type of thing because he's not really a singer.
Yeah, you think?
But
like Kirk Franklin,
he
just
was
talks.
Cool. He was very cool. He was very nice too.
There's Jose Feliciano.
Feliz Navidad.
He couldn't see a thing, could he?
I don't know if he got me in trouble, bro. Yeah, I should not have been not. I'm
No,
gonna
go ahead.
You shouldn't have said nothing now.
We need that.
Just go ahead and share
Okay,
it.
He can't see it.
Okay, let me just shout out Alex Brown and Morton Jenkins. Those were the other two background singers. And the three of us were working with Jose. And so when we finally got to the hotel in Vegas, Jose leaned over and asked one of the musicians, what do the girls look like? And the musician was describing us to him. And one of the musicians said to him, "Oh, I think Gwen is the one that you would like. That's your type." Well, his wife was close by and heard it. And from then on out, I couldn't do nothing right. I couldn't wear my clothes. And so Alex Brown just said to me, "What did you do? Why did she don't like you for some reason or another?" And I found out later that was the reason that somebody had pointed me out as being Jose's type.
He was getting ready to grab your wrist.
Something.
I don't.
Get a little closer.
But that's how I got it. Yeah.
Say, we know who the mystery man is now.
Right.
Okay.
So how did you come to Hot? So after all
we're
that,
still getting hot. Okay.
Yeah.
So in 1974, I guess I was.
You went to Brazil and came back.
Oh, I was in Brazil in 71.
Okay.
And so,
wearing a thong bikini?
No.
No clothes at all?
They have thongs there. Do they have thongs there?
I had just got to California, so I was still kind of new, and I was sent to Brazil by H.B. Barnum. I had met H.B. on one of the auditions or so.
Did HB go there with you?
No, he sent me.
Okay.
He sent me, and there was an impresario there waiting for me to take me around. And
wow, that had to be a great experience.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
I played the clubs there, and I stayed longer than I was supposed to. And HB was very upset when I got back. But well, I tried to call him. You don't know how hard it is to get an international call through. And HB was very busy, and so he was never there when I called. So the guys asked me, the club owner, well, can you work at my club? You know, so I had to make my own decisions. And I said, yeah. And so I wound up working at the club in Rio. I worked at the club in Sao Paulo. And I was there a long time. I didn't come home until New Year's, you know. And so, yeah. But in 70, I think it was 74, I was... once again, I was pulled towards Terry Woodford and Clayton Ivey. I don't know how that came about. I can't remember now. But they heard me sing and wanted me to... Oh, no. I recorded You Better Watch Out with Terry Woodford and Clayton Ivey. So when they wanted to go bring me back in the studio, because there was a little lull there after that record with Casablanca, changing labels and stuff, they wanted me to come to Muscle shows and record again. They were ready for me to come. By this time, I had been working with Wolfman Jack, and I had been working with Kathy Carson. You heard her song, and Irene Cathaway. and I talked them into bringing a group. I said, no, you got to hear us sing. You're not going to believe this sound. You got to hear us. And he says, well, okay, if you want them, I'll bring them. So Irene decided she wasn't going to wait. So she went on the road with Robert Guillaume. Oh. And so when we got ready to go down there, it was just me and Kathy, which wasn't a problem because technically it was my gig and I was bringing them. So Kathy came along. So Kathy and I recorded Angel in Your Arms and a couple of other songs. And that's how we became hot. When we came back to LA, we needed a third girl because I sang all the parts and Kathy and I did all the parts. And we, I guess we put word out that we were looking for another singer. And Juanita Curiel, we met at my lawyer's office. Juanita Curiel came walking across Ventura Boulevard, and her hair was down, and it just was flowing as she walked across the street.
Rapunzel.
And we were looking out the window, and my lawyer said, if that girl can sing, she got a job. And she walked in the door, and she sat down, and I threw out some harmony to her, and she did, and boom, that was it. That's how Hot came about. A lot of people thought that we created that group, sat down and said, we want a Mexican girl, we want a white girl, and a black girl. That's not how it happened. It all happened accidentally because Irene Cathaway was Mexican, but we didn't know that because she was using the name Cathaway, which was her married name. We didn't know that, but when Juanita came and she said, Juanita Curiel, she's Mexican. It just happened that way. It was meant to be that way.
So who established Hot?
We were at Marty Nearbass's office, and she was at that time Big Tree Records, which was part of Atlantic. And we were in the studio, and she's the one who picked Angel in Your Arms. Out of all of our tapes that we sent her, she said, that's the hit. That's going to be the hit. Now we needed a name. And we were sitting around at that time. There was Hot Chocolate out and Hot Fudge. It was all a bunch of hot names. That was the thing at that time. Mm-hmm. And so I think I was sitting at the desk, and I said, well, what about Hot? Because Kathy Carson always wore this necklace that had Hot on it. We were always hot in the studios, and she had the things that hot. And I looked up and I said, what about just Hot? And Marty Nearbass was on the floor picking up something, and she looked up over the desk and she said, that's it. And that's how the name came about, just that quick. Everything was moving very fast at that time. Yeah.
Well, as we continue here on We Love Rare Grooves, we're in the studios with our own Xiantoni, her mom. That's right, the group Hot, legendary group Hot. So
cut it out.
Hey, we sharing the music here, man. The wonderful music of the group Hot now. Mm-hmm. We're in the Hot stage. So let's go in and play a couple of songs that we have off of Hot, and then we got some videos as we share. We're taking them on a musical journey. This is some great music, a great voice. You gonna sign my album tonight for me? All right. Okay. DJ DeVoe, DJ Rez, take me away, baby.
So brightly, I never thought it could change. Something is wrong, I know. It doesn't feel the same. Now that you know that I love you, it's plain. You're taking my love for granted, making me blue, and I feel like I'm taking my love for granted. shadow of the room. Can't you see that I need to be with you? I've been sitting high on a virtual shelf. Help me, baby, to get to know myself. Show me how. Show me how. Do it now. Do it now. Can't live without it. Can't live without it, baby. Pick me up. Pick me up. Lay me down. Lay me down. Do it now. Before I lose my nerve and back out. Borrow me. Borrow me. Put some sugar in your mouth if you like it sweet. Come on and borrow me, baby. Borrow me. Borrow me. Lay some loving on me now and just borrow me. Borrow me. I don't need nobody to tell me what I already know to be fact. 'Cause I've had some strong suspicions, though I never caught you in the act. You make me wonder what you think you're doing. Sure not fooling me. And honey, you can use some lessons on how to be discreet. Yeah, slipping up, slipping around, giving yourself away. You've been slipping up, slipping around, you've been slipping out to play. You can just blame yourself when you hang yourself. The price you have to pay. You've been slipping up, slipping around, giving yourself away. Blame yourself, blame yourself. Hang yourself, hang yourself. Oh, guess you think I'm blind. You're the biggest fool there ever was. I don't know why this seems funny, but somehow it just does. 'Cause the way you're handling your affairs shows a lack of thought. You're leaving a trail behind, just waiting to be caught. Slipping around, giving yourself away. You've been slipping up, slipping around. You've been slipping out to play. You can just blame yourself when you hang yourself. The price you have to pay. You've been slipping up, slipping around, giving yourself away. Tonight, my love, there'll be no romance and candlelight. Just the words I'm afraid to say. While love has touched my heart, you only touched me in the dark. It was such a thrill, but now I need so much more. I know you don't feel the same, so I have to walk away. The nights are not enough to hold on to when you're the only one in love. It's just not enough. It's so lonely when you're the only one in love. It's just enough to realize the nights are not enough. No, I don't blame you. You gave no promise from the start. I was fooled by the look in your eyes. But what was I to do? It came so easy loving you. You were everything I've ever dreamed of.
Tim Garcia, play for me the bass, you big Colorado guy. sax. What a band! The original. Pete, welcome. Good action. Good action. Doc Kershaw. Boom, boom. Boom. Charlie Rich, play. You old silver fox here. When I grow up, I'm going to be just like Charlie. Low-grade infections and Rexall. Mary Preston in prison.
We are
We
back
all
in,
in.
but what's next? I mean,
You're not gonna be able to see the piece of the Star Search one?
yeah.
Oh, we'll get to that
We
in a
gotta-
You
second.
have time? We don't.
Yeah,
have
we got time.
It's Xiantoni's show.
Xiantoni's show.
It's
We'll be
not
here
my
all-
show.
We'll be
She's
here all
telling- she's
night.
giving the directions.
But I got
No,
a few
DeVoe and Reggie are gonna ask some questions too.
I got a few questions for you though. We were
Okay.
talking about earlier being in the industry over 50 years. What's some of the best advice you received? And I think
To me, the best advice I received, and I received a lot of it, but the best advice I received was from Luvv when he told me, if you want somebody to take your advice, charge them for it.
all right.
And I thought that was really good advice
Get
because
some
people don't,
receipts.
for some reason or another, if you give them some free advice, they don't
you're
care.
right.
They're gonna do whatever they want to do anyway. You charge them for it, they pay for it, they feel like they got
Like, we're
something.
gonna start charging for our
Yeah.
advice. huh?
For your advice. That's just me. That's what I thought was the best advice.
Now recording now and decades ago when you record, what's some of the things that you would see that's kind of different? I think we talked about that earlier.
It's
Like-
real different now. Back then, when we first started, I think it was only 2 tracks. So you had to do a lot of singing over the top, and everything had to be done at one time, and it was all live. And then if they went to the 4-track, 24 tracks, everything was done live. They could put a little sweetener on it and little things like that, but it was mainly powerful singing and powerful musicians. Now a lot of it is no musicians. It's technical. And then even the vocals, they put so much on them, you don't know
If they really
if
sing
they
or
can
not.
really
huh?
sing, right? So I mean, that's the only difference that I see. Not saying that it's bad, because I like some of the music that's out there now. Like I'm Bruno Mars fanatic. So
my God.
yeah,
Everybody's
that
going
little
to Bruno
brother-
Mars. For
Yeah.
some reason,
Yeah,
they're going to
that
Bruno
era,
Mars.
yeah.
that little brother can sing,
So-
and perform.
Speaking of that, what would you tell an artist that's trying to get in the industry and be a Bruno Mars or a singer? Since you're a singer, what would you tell a young singer?
I would tell a young musician to
Musician.
learn to read music.
Okay.
They don't
Absolutely.
think that it's important, but it really is.
Okay.
And then a young singer, I would say to practice their craft, study, other singers that are good singers, and create your own style.
Okay. Be your own brand.
Yes, be your own brand. When you come out there,
BYOB.
everybody will hear you and they'll say, "Oh, that's so and so." They'll know right away it's you.
Now, after you left Hot, we're gonna have to speed up a bit. But after you left Hot, you went. How did you get to Luvv?
After Hot, we kind of cooled for a minute. Kathy
No.
left.
He said no.
Kathy left the group, and for a minute we did a TV show with another girl, and it kind of like was cooling a bit. This was in the 80s, the early 80s, and so we just. I went back down to Muscle Shoals, did 4 more sides as a solo artist, and I don't even know what happened with that. I just know that when we first left, we were still with Hot. We went to Boardwalk Records, that was owned by Neil Bogart. And when Neil Bogart died, we had just got there. We had a record tonight, I think. And Neil died, and everything stopped. The New York, his wife on here in California was saying, "Let's go." She was getting pictures together. We were getting word. She was laying it out to go. The New York office, the guys came in and said, "Wait a minute, hold on a minute. We need to regroup and find out what's going on." And after that, as far as I know, the record company it was gone. And then
So you got a couple songs in the can, huh? Somewhere.
I got a lot of songs in the can somewhere.
So after you left Muscle Shoals, then you came back to LA, and then how did you get with Luvv?
Well, that was I was working a day job. I had called myself retired. That you can't retire, but they called myself retired. And I was working for Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. I was the manager of one of their locations, and somebody saw me and told me that Luvv was auditioning for backup singers, and that I should go. And I knew who the person's house was. They were doing the audition. He had a studio there. And so I went. I was the second to the last out of 300 people to audition. And when I came in, I knew all of his stuff. you know, because Lou Rawls was my mother's era, but I knew all of his records, so it was really easy for me to kind of be in the groove of that era, you know. We did You're Gonna Miss My Lovin', and so they said we'll give you a call, you know. Well, they had seen 300 people, so the next day I got a call back, and when the call back was only 5 of us. And one of the girls, technically they were only looking for 1 out of the 4. One of the girls was already chosen. She was a friend of Ricky Minor's, and so she already had the gig. And after we sang, they tried to group some of us together to hear the sound. We were walking out. They said, well, we'll let you know. We hadn't even got to the parking lot yet, and somebody came to the door and called my name. Well, I thought they were calling Lynn. But when I turned around, he said, no, you. So when I came back in, he said, Lou said, take your jacket off and turn around. So I took my jacket off. I had a little mini skirt.
I bet you did.
Yeah,
I bet you did.
Hey, of course.
I bet you did.
I did my little turn around, and he said, sit down, you're going to Detroit. And that was where the first gig was. And that's how I got with Lou.
So how long did you travel with
And that's
Lou?
how we wound up in Detroit.
About 3 years or so.
Like a natural man.
Yeah.
And that's when you found her baby daddy.
No, we were already born by then.
She was already born.
Yeah, that's how we got in Detroit.
80. She was saying
this
that
was 84.
That's
yeah.
when you was born, right?
Right.
I was with Lou in 86, 87,
and 88.
Okay.
No,
So
87, 88, and 89.
Right. So we were already born, and so we were babies when she got the Lou Rawls gig.
Now, I know this might be out of sequence, but talk to us about Star Search.
Oh, Star Search.
Because I don't know that young people understand how big Star Search was.
It was huge.
Right.
It was really big the first time around, and that was when we did it. And it was funny. We were in a room somewhere, and somebody came in and said, "You guys have got to do Star Search," and we said, "Well, okay, you know," because this was when Kathy had left the group, and so it was just Juanita and I, and we pulled together this other girl. Not thinking anything of it, but we still wasn't ready to call it quits yet, you know, to give up on hot. And so we went and did Star Search. And I looked for it on YouTube. I can't find it.
We
did 2.
We got it.
No. I mean the first 2 things that we did.
We got something for
and
you.
then we came back. We got called back for the finals.
Like the American
and
Idol.
This
was American Idol
It was.
back then, right?
This was like
Yes.
the After American Bandstand.
And
And it was Star Search.
we won the semifinals in our group, the group category, and then we had to go up against Sawyer Brown for the finals.
Yeah.
And the interesting part about that was Dick Clark came in our dressing room at the end of it.
And tried to
when
Shut
no,
up.
when Sawyer Brown won, Dick Clark came in our dressing room and he said, you know, it just wasn't y'all's judges, because it was 7 judges. 3 voted for us, 3 had voted for Sawyer Brown. It was 1 judge who was holding out, and that was Pam Dauber. And Pam leaned over to Lee Majors, who was one of the judges, and she says, I can't make up my mind. I don't know which one. And Lee Majors, being more of a country flavor, he told her to go with Sawyer Brown. And I mean, that's the story I got later in the dressing
How
room.
much money was in that if you won?
Wasn't it $100,000, I think? I think it was $100,000.
Well, you got a lot of
Right.
little toys for that.
So
I was in the womb at that point, so I don't know.
now y'all confusing me. Now you was in the womb, and now you out.
Yes.
This
in
was
19
before Lou Rawls.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
So we need to look up Pam Daubers and
Right, we gonna send her some dirty messages.
Pam
we getting
Dauber
later.
and Lee Majors. I love both of y'all.
We getting late in the show, so go ahead too. You got a couple videos left.
Yeah, he's
Right,
gonna play
this
one
is-
of the Star Searches. This was in 19.
First from Los Angeles, singing a song they wrote. Here are Gwen, Sheila, and Juanita, collectively known as Hot.
Look at all the time we're wasting. We could be making love. Someone has put your little heart in danger. It's gonna take a girl like me to free you from your loneliness. I'm gonna love her up for your mind and leave a memory far behind. Don't worry, baby, tonight I'll work a miracle for you. Believe me, after I'm through, you won't forget. Oh, I'm gonna warm the chill she's left on you from your head down to your toes. And you, my love, all you gotta do is let yourself go. Tonight, I'm gonna love her over your mind and leave a memory far behind. Don't worry, baby, tonight I'll work a miracle for you. Believe me, after I'm through, you won't forget tonight.
Thank you, Hot. Up first from Los Angeles, singing a song they wrote. Here are Gwen, Sheila, and Juanita, collectively known as Hot.
Do you think I'm such a fool to believe everything you say is true? That just goes to show that you really don't know. While you're out painting the town, do you think I'm home just sitting around waiting on you? Now who's really the fool? When I first found out, I heard all over. I felt so left out till I got to know her. So I tried the way that she got older, and I became just like her. So don't be surprised to find that the angel in your arms this morning gonna be the devil in someone else's arms tonight. That the angel in your arms this morning is gonna be the devil in someone else's arms tonight. Why'd you slip around secretly? If you were tired of loving me, why'd you keep holding on? Love was
Welcome back to the
already
Green
gone.
Studio.
The times you said you weren't feeling well. Did you think
Now, where was that? That was where was that?
Well, it's it's part of the United Kingdom.
Okay.
It's,
In case somebody didn't know.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's,
Some people
it's
may
one
not
of the,
know.
yeah, because a lot of people didn't. My hairdresser, before I left, she didn't know where Wales was.
There you go.
Yeah.
See.
I like geography, so I knew where Wales
Wales,
was.
yeah.
We didn't ask
Don't worry,
you.
the president
we didn't ask
doesn't
you.
know.
And you
The
know,
president
what's
knows.
interesting, when I went to Wales, the first thing they asked me was, where'd you get that name from? They thought I had made up my name, Gwen Owens, because the first name, Gwendolyn, is Welsh and Owens is Welsh. So they
Nice.
didn't know that it was my real name. I had just shortened it, you know. But
Slave
I
owner.
knew
It was
before I
some-
got there that
it was
it was
slave
Welsh
owner.
because Tom Jones had told me that. He said, when he met me, he said, do you know your name is Welsh? You know. So I got to
Tom Jones.
Yeah.
Jones.
You don't have a picture of me and Tom? You
I
didn't show
don't
that
think
one?
I found that
That-
one.
Yeah.
But
You
you
don't
know they were going to change her name when she was at Motown. They were going to.
No, it was, yes,
Yeah.
it was.
What they gonna change you to?
Fuller Gordy said that Gwen Owens didn't have the kind of ring to it or flow to it, and he wanted to change it to something. Someone
Shaquita
had
Moore?
Henry Smith.
Shaquita Moore. No.
Henry Smith had tried to change it earlier. He was going to change it to Tina Young. So when Fuller mentioned it when to the Motown years, I wasn't surprised.
So you was
by
gonna be
it.
the first Tina Marie, huh?
Yeah. I didn't feel surprised by it at all, but my father wasn't having it at all.
Okay.
Oh, he said no. It's good enough for him. It was good enough for me.
Your mama got to come back on because we got.
We can do 60 seconds. No, we hit most of the songs.
You gonna do 60?
We can do 60 seconds.
Wow, she want to do her mama in 60 seconds.
She just want to cut me up. I know.
No,
she know about 60
I just need some
seconds.
Jeopardy music, and then we gonna go with the 60 seconds.
All right.
You enjoying yourself, Miss Gwen?
I am. I'm having a really good
'Cause you
time.
know
I was
you've been-
expecting to be roasted.
She's avoided us for how many years now? Almost 5 years.
Absolutely. We be loving you.
Let's go ahead, gang, because we can right get a bill here from.
Tony.
This is a bill. This
Y'all got
bill
some
time,
Jeopardy music for us?
We don't need none. That's bill time.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a series of random questions, and you have to answer them in 60 seconds or less. What was your first job?
What was my first? I don't know. I think it was answering service here in L.A.
Favorite song to perform?
Angel in My
Oh, yeah, that's good. Angel in Your Arms. That's good. That's good.
Name a lover gave you.
What murder?
Honey.
What did murder call you?
What murder called you?
I don't
said,
know.
honey, let it go.
Best piece of advice?
I already gave that.
Okay, tell us
Okay,
again.
give us another piece of advice.
Oh, best is do not stand in judgment of other people.
Hey,
I was born in 1984. What were you doing then, or should I say who?
Singing on stage.
That's it. That's what I was doing.
What was you doing?
Working on stage, singing on stage as usual. 1984.
And having Xiantoni.
Yeah, thinking about
and
it.
Xavier.
And Xavier.
Yes. If you could come back as an animal, which one would it be?
Probably an elephant, because they're brilliant.
That's right.
If you could have any superpower, reading minds, invisibility, or flying, which one would it be?
I was gonna say reading minds, but a lot of times you don't really want to know what's on somebody else's mind. I mean, you know, so I'm gonna say flying.
Name an artist that you would like to record with that is deceased.
Frank Sinatra.
An artist that you'd like to work with today that is living.
Bruno Mars.
Except
And that's
Bruno
60
Mars.
seconds. We were gonna say except Bruno Mars.
I was gonna say except Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars. They all say that.
I want to record with Sonny.
Right, Sonny.
Right over there. You know where he's at.
And you know, it is so interesting. Of the people we ask, Bruno Mars is ahead by far.
Yeah. Well, from that era,
Right, from the legendary artist. Because we got a legend in the house.
Well, he's
tonight.
taking it back, so you know.
That's right. That's
Can
right.
you give me a Bernadette for the interlude? Did you have it? Because I ain't get a little Bernadette. So as we do here on We Love Rare Grooves from DJ DeVoe, DJ Reg, Pretty Tony, the consultant himself, your daughter, you know the routine. Finally it is. The We Love Rare Grooves Award.
Hey.
Now you know you done watch this show, Mama. Now
I've been waiting on this.
You've been waiting on it.
Move your hand. We got to see your name.
I got
There you
just
go.
the place for it.
Where's that place gonna be?
Yeah, it's
Next to the gold
next
record,
to my
probably.
Gold record and gold
That's right, the
reel
gold record that you
and
got
the
with
gold reel. Oh yes.
So thank you very much. This has been a wonderful evening of sharing. I'm glad we got a chance to take our audience through a musical journey that they were so surprised to know where our co-host has got all the talent from. You know, we still haven't seen her perform yet.
Now you know.
So she's
still hasn't
Mic drop. Gwen Owens, baby.
So we want to thank our listening audience all over the globe, and also our sponsors for keeping the project going every Monday night. Starting off with Beverly Boys Production, the go-to guys for all your video production needs. Give them a call, 1-800-385-1243. Also, Ascot Accounting. That's right, the #1 discount accounting for small, distinguished accounting for small businesses. Call them today or visit their website at ascot-accounting.com and find out, right, Reg, where you can get
30 days.
30
days?
30 days.
1 month?
1 month.
Free trial.
Free trial? Not 45? I might need 45.
Well, you might need that CPA. You need somebody else.
DeVoe might need 60.
And join them over at Drove Stogies. That's right, Drove Stogies in the house. And then we have the upcoming weekend that we've been waiting for the former Ebony Fashion Fairs. Friday will be at the Miracle Theater with the Versailles 73. That's a documentary that Ava DuVernay will be working on, and we're going to show you the original on Friday. Then on Sunday, they close out with the Jazz Brunch. But the main thing will be Saturday at the California African American Museum, as they will give away awards for all the black designers. See former Ebony Fashion Fair models do what they always do. Ain't that right, DeVoe? They gonna run the.
I'm gonna get it in. I'm gonna be right there.
From the sidewalk to the catwalk.
I bet you gonna be right there. I bet you are.
From the sidewalk to the catwalk, it's gonna be great food, great entertainment, great fun. It's the place to be this Saturday because it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot. My dear, before we leave, can we sign the hot album to We Love Rare Grooves, huh?
And we need to acknowledge Jimmy G in the house.
In the house.
In the
whole thing
yes.
Wear Grooves, or can I put
You
WLRG?
can do whatever
You
you,
can put
want.
WLRG.
It's just in my hand right
Yeah,
now.
do that. That's fine, and make sure you put your name on it because I'm trying to get some money.
Oh my God.
Boy, Jimmy been working hard. He already like,
see, that's not
wake
working.
up, Jimmy. Jimmy, wake up.
Man.
We working
That's a
nonstop.
cold bro.
Hey,
That's a
we want
cold
to thank
brother
our
right
listeners
there.
audience
From
every
5
Monday
this morning.
night. They can see
Yes,
the
follow us on iHeartRadio. We're streaming the audio version of this
give
show
me
in its
folk.
entirety on iHeartRadio. On our YouTube channel, this show will be up in about 3 days, so give us a little bit of time. We Love Rare Grooves. We Groove Entertainment on Instagram and
That's
our
fine.
Facebook,
Just
We
your
Love
signature.
Rare Grooves. To keep up with all of our show highlights, replays, and upcoming events, please follow us on all of our digital streaming networks so you guys can keep up with us. You're going to look up one day and we're going to have our own app. I'm speaking it out now. So y'all better just get used to following us.
Oh, yeah.
Clifton is so happy.
Please follow this show. This is Xiantoni's show.
Oh, we did forget to. You'll have to come back. You know, you have such a long career. Her gospel group, Melodious, which she worked with for over 10 years. But you'll have to come back.
18 years.
Oh, 18 years. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
18
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Now,
daughter,
you
like
got a
right.
so
Daughter, mom and
are
daughter.
you on
You can
social?
tell what
Are
you
you
got
on
it from.
social
Oh my
media?
God, zip it.
Do you have a website?
No, I don't think so.
You're not on Insta.
No.
So
I
you
just
haven't got it.
retired from them, but they are still going.
They're still going. Okay.
And
You
we
retired?
have a CD and the whole. I don't
That's
like
all
to
right.
say retired. Let's say semi-retired. Because
Okay.
I know somebody gonna call me on the phone.
Big Red,
Right.
songstress, singer,
Red.
songwriter, original member of the famous group Hot. That's right, legendary. She has a gold. How many people gold?
Yeah.
Gold?
Got a gold record.
Gold.
Bam.
It went gold?
Went gold.
Oh, yeah.
Went gold.
A few times, huh?
Right. So that's how we do here on We Love Rare Grooves. We bring you the legends.
Oh, fun fact.
What?
When Billboard Awards was the first ever Billboard Awards, they were nominated.
Yes,
in the
that's right.
category.
Give it up, girl.
That's right.
The very
All
first
right.
Billboard Awards ever.
So we will be back
why they
here
hot.
next Monday night with a surprise guest.
Surprise?
As we do
Is
here.
it such a surprise we don't know who it is?
That's how much a surprise it is.
Hey, got us on hold.
I believe we're going to have coming in the musical director for over 40 years for the Ebony Fashion Fair was Theonius Rogers.
Oh, nice.
Jr. So he will come in town. But he'll stay over and come share some of the music that he's had through his wondrous journey and work with some great artists. Hopefully we can use him to get us some of the artists that he's worked with from the Emotions and all the way down the line. Yeah. So as we do here on Monday, we want to thank our listening audience for joining us on
We Love Rare Grooves. Good
We
night.
went into
Yabba-dabba-doo.
overtime tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Xiantoni's show.
Gotta show your receipts.
Great.
Thank
show,
you, Mama.
Xiantoni.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank you.
Mama Xiantoni. We said Mama Xiantoni.
Yes.
Oh, not
Mama.
even.
Yeah, that's right.
It'll be
Mama
back to
Xiantoni.
your
Show.
regularly scheduled program.
Don't worry about
Monday,
where's
Monday.
the murder
Xiantoni
didn't
did a
call in
great
tonight.
job. Yeah, we
I
didn't
know,
get
I
him.
That's
sent
right.
the flyer too.